about mental health. And the way that it's been portrayed, I'm going to even say marketed, because Big Pharma does definitely monetize on people's mental health due to what they're prescribing as medication. Do you know what I mean? So we can't say that it's not marketed to a degree. Do you know what I mean? And rather than do other exercises, they would rather just exercise medication. And honestly, I talk a lot about mental health, and then there's mental diversity or mental diversion. Do you know what I mean? Where they are completely different things, but I just feel like one is given more power than the other one. Now the other one, mental diversion, you can't control that. You can't control it. Now there are times where medication is needed, growth is needed. Do you know what I mean? And when certain people grow up, they have an understanding, awareness, and stuff like that. But then there's some that they're just not functional. You know what I mean? And that is what it is, unfortunately. Okay. But in regards to anxiety and feeling low, those things, we do have the power to change or alter, and it just comes down to a few factors. Who are you around? What are you allowing into your mind state, in the sense of music, movies, the news? Do you know what I mean? And also, how are you eating? What is your nutrition like? Do you know what I mean? Are you moving? Are you exercising? Do you know what I mean? There's so many different things, because again, I am coming from a perspective of experience with this. I've let myself go many times, and I've slipped and dropped the ball many times. The first time I went through this, what I would consider as a nervous breakdown, where I was completely fine, and then one day I just wasn't, and I didn't know how to cope with it. I believe I was 21 years old, and to me, life was over. Before that, I was into my boxing. I was training 5 days a week. I was literally living like an athlete. You know what I mean? I was living like an athlete, eating, sleeping, training, looking after myself. All right. And then one thing led to another, and it literally felt like my brain just broke. It literally felt like in the cartoons where you hear the shattered glass. My brain just broke. My heart broke. Brain broke. I was not me. Me was not I. Okay. And then I gained a lot of weight. At one point I was 77 kilos, and I rose up to 139 kilos. I wasn't looking after myself. My hygiene went down the hill. I just wasn't myself. I wasn't that person. And it literally, within a year and a half, it was night and day. I was training, I was fit, I was in shape, and then a year and a half later, I'm morbidly obese. I'm drinking, I think I'm smoking at the time. I'm doing everything to medicate and escape and run away from my problems. I wasn't facing the problems, do you know what I mean? And then it wasn't until I had an awakening, a moment with my daughter, and then ever since then I just bounced back. Do you know what I mean? So I was depressed, but I wasn't functional. Okay, that was the first time this ever happened. The second time it happened, I was depressed again. I wasn't looking after myself, but I was working at this time. So I maintain a full-time job, but I did have to cut off all connections, okay? I had no connections with no one, you know what I mean? All I was doing was work and home. Work, home, daughter. Work, home, daughter. That's all I did. But I was functional, and I made sure I was going to be there for my daughter. Now, I might not have been there as much as I probably could have, but I was there. Do you know what I mean? I was there. I showed up. I picked her up from school. I made sure she was fed, looked after, her needs was met. Now, there might have been, you know, I might have not been doing as much as I would have liked to if I was in the right mind state, but I was still high functioning. You know what I mean? I was still very much high functioning. Do you know what I mean? Like I was there. So I just and that was my choice too. So listen, if I would have just allowed myself to be depressed again, then I wouldn't have been able to function for my child. And I was like, you know what? I don't give a shit what I'm going through. I don't care what I'm going through. I'm going to function for my child. I must function for my child. Like, I will function for my child. Now, it probably wasn't 100%. I probably was 50%. But I made sure my daughter had the whole 50% of whatever I had. Do you know what I mean? That was a non-negotiable. Everything I had, my daughter had to have it. That was it. And I wasn't functional. And that was a subconscious choice. So what I'm saying is we do have a choice. Like, if we have the right motive to, if we have the right encouragement to, the right incentive to, we can and we will do it. So that tells me that there is a choice. Even up till recently, you know, I wasn't myself, but at the same time, I still functioned. I showed up, I was there for my daughter, but I wasn't there for myself. Something had to give, but at the same time, I made sure that I was showing up for work, for my students, for my fighters. I showed up no matter what. I didn't allow my problems to become a problem where it affects every aspect of my life. Do you know what I mean? So I had enough energy and I chose to show up. Like, I made sure I showed up. You know what I mean? But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere again, I'm back firing on all cylinders. Do you know what I mean? So I honestly feel like to drop the ball on every aspect of life, that's a choice. Do you know what I mean? And I'm coming from personal experience. Do you know what I mean? It's a choice. We choose to say, you know what, I don't want to do it. Like, we choose to say, you know what, I like it's a choice. It has to be a choice, and it must be a choice. And I know what I'm gonna choose. Do you know what I mean? Like there's not feeling healthy, there's not feeling well. Like, let's say if you got a cold. When you got a cold, are you gonna go out and do the stuff that's gonna make the cold worse, or are you gonna try your best to heal and get rid of or relieve yourself of this cold? Do you know what I mean? Like, so if you're not feeling good, right, and it might be a push to do some stuff for yourself, but at the same time you need to start working on the health part of it, because healthy means everything functioning and working good. Now, if something's not functioning and working good, you're not going to be able to function 100%. But at the same time, you function at the percentage that you can function by working on raising your percentage up. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna have a cold and say, you know what, I'm gonna go stand out in the freezing cold. That's self-harm. Do you know what I mean? Like, now, to me, that is ridiculous. But why do we have these mental health ailments, and we're not trying to do anything ourselves to medicate it? We're not saying, you know what would make me feel better? Let's start baby steps. Let's walk around the house. Let's walk up the stairs. Oh, we've done that. Let's walk outside with a hoodie on or whatever, because, you know, we've developed social anxiety. Do you know what I mean? Let's call one of our best friends to walk with us. Our mum walk with us. Grandma walk with us. Damn, push grandma in a wheelchair. Grandma pushes us in the wheelchair. Let's get outside. Do you know what I mean? Like, I honestly believe you can't help by getting depressed. Okay, stuff happens, it knocks us off our horse. Like, if you fall off the horse, you're gonna be like, oh shit, my hip hurts. Do you know what I mean? But staying depressed is the problem for me. Okay, so forgive me if I didn't in the beginning if you misunderstood, okay, or if I didn't give the correct message. Getting depressed is something that you can't help, but staying depressed is what I honestly feel that's a choice. Do you know what I mean? Getting depressed, feeling low, we can't help it. It happens. We're human. Do you know what I mean? But staying there. Nah, that's I believe that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable, and I feel like it's selfish, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? Like, not try nothing. Just close the doors, listening to rock music or listening to sad music. No curtains, windows closed, curtain closed, light. There's not even a bulb in the light. There's not even a bulb in the socket. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. And that's a choice. Staying depressed is the choice. Staying depressed is the choice. You know, it's easy just to lay down and do nothing. It's so easy to lay down and do nothing and blame the world, blame life and stuff like that. But no, man, we have to take accountability and responsibility. We must take responsibility and rise up, you know, and rise up. We gotta rise up and we can rise up. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not gonna say this was more of a mental health rant than it was a a video like to give information or help or whatever. But listen, if you found this video, at the end of the day, I'm just trying to, it's not even tough love, I'm just trying to let you guys know that I see you, I understand, but I'm sorry, this is unacceptable. Now, it might be coming from a tough love perspective, but it won't cut it, because I've been there, self-harm and all that. I've been there. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've suffered with this stuff longer than some of you guys have even been a life. Not alive, a life. You know what I mean? So yeah, and I keep fighting the fight, and I keep functioning. Do you know what I mean? And it literally is about stop feeling sorry for yourself and rise up. Just rise up, man. Just rise up. Stick around good people. Be careful of the media you digest. Do you know what I mean? Move and try to eat as clean and as healthy as possible, man. Do you know what I mean? And that, like, I'm not even talking about eating healthy from a perspective of aesthetics. Do you know what I mean? Aesthetics isn't important to everyone. Do you know what I mean? And that not everybody cares about the aesthetics. But I'm just saying, listen, if you want to give yourself a bulletproof brain, okay, you literally have to bulletproof it. And what you eat is just as important as the things you watch, the things you listen to, the people you're around, the environments that you attend. You know, you have to contribute to this, man. It's up to you, but you can do it, man. You can do it. And if you need any help and advice, leave a comment down below. If you found this video inspiring, informative, or anything, leave a comment down below. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. This is Rico Tav, Thoughts and Vlogs, and I'm signing off. Peace. We out.